Hello, and thank you for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Aaron Porras here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Rocket sirens are continuing to wail in southern Israel despite a brief 6-hour lull Tuesday afternoon. As of Wednesday morning, just 24 hours after the attacks began, over 220 rockets and counting have been fired by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror organization into Israel. And the group is vowing to continue with the war too, after Israel first targeted their regional leader Baha Abu al-Atta, who was preparing to carry out an attack. And most sirens are ringing out in the south along the border areas like in Sderot, Ashkelon, and Ashdod, but residents have also reported alarms and loud explosions in the skies above Latrun and Beit Shemesh further north. Even Jerusalem has been targeted, and many cities from Sderot, Ashkelon, and Ashdod all the way to Ramat Gan and Givatayim near Tel Aviv have cancelled school for the second day in a row. The Iron Dome missile defense system has been working with an interception rate of over 90% though. Thankfully, no immediate reports of serious casualties have been published. But that's not to say that there haven't been any close calls and lighter injuries. Magen David Adom paramedics report dozens of civilians receiving treatment for lighter to moderate injuries, including 2 men who suffered shrapnel wounds, and some rockets have broken through the Israeli shield as well, striking highways and residential neighborhoods. Meanwhile, the IDF ground and air forces have been retaliating against the Strip, targeting militants, rocket launchers, and terrorist infrastructure like naval bases, training grounds, and tunnels into Israel. And the total death toll in Gaza since Tuesday morning is now 15, 10 of which are confirmed terror group members. Egyptian and United Nations officials have been hard at work since Tuesday night in efforts to restore some semblance of quiet along the southern Israeli-Gaza border. But both the Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror groups in the Strip are promising to intensify their assault in retaliation for the killing of the Islamic Jihad's regional terror chief, Baha Abu al-Atta. In fact, according to the Public Security Minister Gilad Erdan, the Iranian-backed Palestinian Islamic Jihad is also attempting to sabotage ceasefire arrangements, leading to a shift in Israel's defense policy. Until now, Israel held Hamas responsible for all violence emanating from Gaza, as Hamas is supposed to be in charge. But since this latest escalation began, the IDF has focused its efforts on targeting Islamic Jihad infrastructure directly. Then on that same note, newly minted Defense Minister Naftali Bennett says that our strikes send a clear message to our enemies, and that whoever plans to hurt us during the day can never be sure that they'll make it through the night. Still, Israel does prefer calm, and senior international officials are working in that direction. But it's an uphill battle, and that's why Special UN Coordinator to the Middle East Nikolai Mladenov is already in Cairo. But speaking with the Times of Israel, he says that the risk of escalation remains high and that it's too early for talks of mediation just yet. For now, the goal is just to stop the escalation. Now, since the latest rocket barrages began, many international officials have spoken out against the Gaza terrorists' targeting of civilians in Israel. And in the U.S., the White House is also strongly condemning the ongoing violence. Vice President Mike Pence, for one, says that it's clear Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror groups put violence ahead of bettering the lives of Gazan citizens. And Ambassador to Israel David Friedman adds that the U.S. stands with Israel in this critical moment. Even Democratic presidential hopeful and former Vice President Joe Biden has issued support for Israel's actions, calling the constant fear of rocket attacks intolerable. President Trump, on the other hand, largely refrained from directly discussing the recent escalations, saying only that there are a lot of things happening over there that aren't very good, while addressing an Orthodox Jewish event. But then Trump went on to mock the Israeli political system for failing to turn out a leader yet, while also boasting a false Israeli approval rating of 98%. Ironically, though, this rocket assault may actually be increasing the chances of a unity government, in spite of what blue and white leader Benny Gantz might say. Because with just 8 days left in his mandate to form a coalition on the one side and a potentially drawn-out conflict with Gaza on the other, the country may not tolerate a weakened interim government for much longer. What was supposed to be a day of joy turned into one of fear for many couples who were about to tie the knot on Tuesday. Gatherings of more than 300 people in central Israel and just 100 in the south of Israel were prohibited by the IDF, forcing many to call off their nuptials. One couple interviewed by Israeli media said that their wedding hall that they had planned to get married in wasn't ready to host them and that they had nowhere to go. And another couple had to postpone their Beersheba wedding in the south after getting instructions to halt it. But luckily, one pair of lovebirds were able to find a new hall in the last minute, and they said that it wasn't what they had imagined, but a solution is better than nothing. Israeli pop star Netta Barzilai even made an appearance to lift spirits, bringing smiles to the bride and groom. Then other couples who were able to go on with their weddings invited entire other wedding parties to join them. The groom said that he welcomed the bride, groom, rabbi, and guests to share their venue and show how strong and united Israel is, even under the circumstances.
That's all for now, so follow us on Facebook at Israel English News and, of course, on Instagram. I'm Aaron Porras, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.